Hi everyone, this is Shawna Bolingbroke. This video will quickly demonstrate how to prep your paper for my watercolor Polaroid painting series. If you find that you have any questions after watching the video, feel free to shoot me a message or an email. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with part 1, measuring and taping your paper. By the way, if you hear a little voice in the background, that is just my daughter. She's as excited about these paintings as I am. You will need scissors, a ruler or a template. I made my own. More about the measurements in upcoming slides. You'll also need masking tape or painter's tape, a pencil, and of course watercolor paper. So if you've signed up for my Polaroid paint class already, you'll see on the event page that I've attached an image similar to this one. You can also see that there are 2 options. These are the measurements for the exact option. I based them off of a Polaroid picture that I have here at home. There's also the easy option if you just hate anything slightly math related or don't want to take the time, or if you have an excellent talent of eyeballing things, go ahead, run with it. All that matters is that it resembles a Polaroid picture. For my easy option here, I just have measurements written down that are rounded up. Again, since it's not the exact measurement, it won't look exactly like the image displayed here, but it'll be close enough. So the next thing you'll want to do is draw the outline of your Polaroid image. I drew my template out on cardstock following the measurements we already discussed, and now every time I want to do a Polaroid painting, I can just quickly trace it onto my paper. You want to make sure there's a little bit of space around your Polaroid so that you have somewhere to put the tape. So just a quick rundown. First, we gathered our supplies. Second, we drew out and measured our outline. And then the third thing we're going to do is put our tape on the image. So the main reason we tape the outlines of our paper before watercolor is to prevent that wrinkling that you sometimes see when a paper gets really wet. This happens because the fibers in your paper expand and contract as it gets wet and as it dries. I'd recommend taping to the outer outline rather than the inner outline because there's less risk of the tape tearing the top layer off the paper where you don't want it to. However, if you're especially worried about going out of the lines, taping to the inner frame is an option, though I'd recommend using masking fluid instead. So that brings us to our next section, using masking fluid. I'm sure some of you are wondering what masking fluid is. It's a lot like rubber cement. You'll just paint it onto your paper. It'll dry and then resist the watercolor everywhere it touches. And then when you're finished with your painting, you just peel it up and you have a nice clean frame. So you'll need an old brush, just one that you don't care a ton about if it gets ruined. If the masking fluid dries in the bristles, then your brush will never be the same again. You'll need masking fluid and dish soap. So it doesn't matter what kind of dish soap you have, you're just going to use it as a protective layer for your brush bristles between the bristles themselves and the masking fluid. You'll just dip your brush in the soap, evenly coat it, wipe any excess off. Okay, again, just getting any extra off. You want to make sure you go all the way to the very roots so none of that yucky rubber gets inside your brush bristles. So now I'm ready to go ahead and get started. Just gonna make sure it's thoroughly mixed. You don't want to shake it, otherwise you'll have too many air bubbles. You can kind of swish it around though. So now I'm just putting a thin coat all the way up to that inner outline. Remember, everywhere that I put masking fluid, it will resist my watercolor. So you don't want to go inside your innermost box.
So you'll just want to make sure you let the masking fluid dry completely before class starts. What you see here is a finished painting, and I'll now demonstrate what it looks like when you take the masking fluid off. It peels off like dead skin. Gross analogy, but it's true. The last thing you'll do is trim off your edges, and you've got a finished Polaroid. Congrats!